Hey guys, Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, fredmccoy.com. It's going to be a real short video. I'm going to try to be real diplomatic here and nice. Guys, we get a lot of, or not a lot, but we've got several comments, texts, messages, emails on a fellow that's a regular, seems to be on some of the Facebook Hatfield McCoy pages. And years ago, me and him had gotten in an argument on them, and they kicked both of us off. And then they took him back. He's a smooth talker, or wanted to be there more than I did, I guess. But his name's David Hatfield, and he's from Murphy's, California, or at least that's what his email says, or his text messages and his Facebook. One time I thought he was somebody else, and very well still could be. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that. I do want to go over something. I was going through some old emails, old text messages the other day on something else. Run up on this one. I forgot about it. Didn't know the guy then, don't know him now, other than that he portrays himself to know everything about the feud. He lives in California. When me and him had this confusion, I asked him, being from California, when was he ever in West Virginia to visit Devil Anses? He said, oh yeah, I've been there. And I said, well, can you post one picture of you at Devil Anses Monument? Because see, most of you know that there's nobody, or very few, unless they just forgot their camera or something happened, there's very few that intentionally goes to Devil Anse Hatfield's family cemetery and climbs up that hill and then goes back to switch back up another hill and gets up there and don't take a picture. That'd be very uncommon. If you do all that, you're going to take a picture with that big monument. And I told him, I said, post one picture. Oh, I've got them. I said, post one, just one picture. Because I think you're bull crapping. You've never been there. You're just watched the History Channel and read a couple of books, the wrong ones, and act like you know it all. Of course, he couldn't find no pictures, he said. Now, I said all that to say this, and I don't want to be on here just like I'm dogging. I'm not dogging. I'm saying on January the 7th of 2014, January 7th, 2014, now that's 2 years after the History Channel's Hatfield McCoy mini-series. This David Hatfield had wrote me. Me and him had corresponded on a messenger. I forgot about it. Didn't even realize it. And I had told him, he had made a comment, I guess, about Randall McCoy and Sarah possibly. I don't know. I don't have the beginning of it. And but it's January the 7th, 2014 at 10:18 a.m. I said, hey David, check the history of Ellison Hatfield and Harriet Hatfield, his first cousin. They fooled around and had cotton top. Maybe that's the reason they come up with, it's better if cousins don't mate, LOL. Take care. He wrote back, thanks Fred, I will check that out. That might explain cotton top been a little simple. Might explain it. Him been a little simple. He didn't even know cotton top was that's what the problem was. That's okay. My glasses are a mess. So then the next message, it says, I said, yep. Or he says, David comes back. He wrote again. He said, yep. It appears to be the case. And I said, agree, LOL. He said, I saw this in another one. I saw this and another one. You're right, but it's going to be fun watching the Hatfields scramble to prove it wrong, LOL. Now that's David. She'll take a couple of pictures of these two pages. His comments, my comments, and this is the fella that in 2014 didn't know anything about the feud. He didn't know about Harriet and Ellison Hatfield being the parents of Cotton Top. He didn't know that they were first cousins and so forth like that. Then he writes back and says, you're right. You're right. May explain why Cotton Top's simple. So all you people out there, when I say since I was in the 5th grade and done a book report all my life, that's all I've been interested in. I ain't gonna say all I've been interested in. I've done many things. But really taking the Hatfield-McCoy feud and history, family history, serious throughout the years. And again, I'll clear this up. When I talk about Hatfields, I don't mean Kentucky Hatfields. I don't even mean Hatfields in general. I always talk about Devil Anse Hatfield and his immediate family that was so vicious and such savages back in the day. Again, I'm half Hatfield. But I thought this was interesting that these people get on there and this man, he seems, no matter what somebody comments about, he's got a comeback. And he throws it out there. He throws it out there. And okay, I'm getting this. And I don't want to get personal. It's not personal anymore. It's beyond that. Now it's just history. It's just trying to show people that when you talk to these people on, I seen there was a lady that used to contact us all the time. And she would get the history and then she would go on there and argue. And then finally I seen where she's apologizing to him. He had stood her down. She had the knowledge. She had the truth. But where he argued with her so much on that page, he had stood her down. She said, I'm sorry, I stand corrected, or whatever she said, apologized to him, and he was in the wrong. That's why I don't go on them. You're not going to win on these Devil Anse Hatfield websites where these historians, so-called historians and book writers, have written books and have their reputation to stand on. They've got to stand by their books or their predecessors' books that they copied from. They've got to. If they don't, their book is useless. They can't go against it. So they can't say, yeah, Fred and Sheila's right. Yeah, those court documents they showed, they're correct. Yeah, those Civil War records, they got us. They will not admit it. You can hold the evidence right in front of them, and they will not admit it. They're not going to. Anyway, short video, and Sheila will take pictures of this. I just thought that was interesting that in 2014, this gentleman didn't know anything about the feud. And I think me and him got into it in 2020, 2021. And that's when he said he had pictures. And still to this day, as a child, still to this day, he can prove. Again, I always leave people way out to prove, because people loves to prove other people wrong. So prove me wrong and show us a picture of you, Mr. Hatfield, as a child, looking up. He said he had them. He said he was there, that they went back there many times and visited. And show us a DNA. If he's going to stand there and say, he's no different than the rest of us, the other ones I get on to, if he's going to stand there and say that he's related to Devil Anse, how is he related? How? You know, he's never told nobody that. He just happens to have a Hatfield name. Guys, there's a bunch of McCoys all over the United States that come over here from Scotland and wherever the other place was. I can't think of it right now. Sheila put it at the bottom of the screen. But there's two main places, mainly Scotland, Ireland. And there's all kinds of Hatfields and McCoys that are not related to each other. Eastern Kentucky, McCoys, Southern West Virginia, Hatfield, so forth, related. Now we're all intertwined and related. But that don't mean we're related to somebody in California just because they got a Hatfield name. Now people do relocate. This person, from what I can find out, when I was checking into this, he didn't relocate. He's been there. It's where he's raised at. Now, if I'm wrong, it's real easy to correct us. And I'd like to know, where are the pictures at when he was a young man, young boy, growing up, all these pictures that he took, where he was up on Devil Anse's grave all the time and come to visit. And that would prove me wrong on that, because I don't think he's got any. I think he was talking it into history back then, in front of those Facebook people, everybody that was there, and I got a lot of emails, and they said, oh, we enjoyed you explained, you called him out. We know what he is now, and so forth. And of course, nobody will do that themselves, and I don't blame them. Who wants to stand down there and just argue all the time? But just because somebody's got the last name Hatfield or McCoy doesn't make them knowledgeable on the Hatfield-McCoy feud, and it definitely doesn't make them related. There's some people that's got those names that when you go back through history and talk to other people that knew their parents or their grandparents, and they say there was some hanky-panky that went on back in those days. Well, even newspapers back home, Logan Banner, the Herald Lead, the Carrier Journal says that Walt Hatfield had 5 wives and 32 children. Tennis Hatfield had several illegitimate children. That's not me talking. That's from newspapers or family history. So it'd be nice to know when these people says they're related to Tennis Hatfield. Are they? Was their parents related? Was their grandparents? It'd be nice to know. Same way with this gentleman here. And there's several ways to shut Fred McCoy up or prove Fred McCoy wrong. One of them is these pictures for this fella, pictures of him at the monument when he was a young man or boy or whatever. And the other one is with DNA to show us exactly what his bloodline, along with the rest of these people I've called out. What's his bloodline to Devil Anse Hatfield? Is he related to Devil Anse Hatfield? Is Devil Anse Hatfield an actual Hatfield? We're going to do a video in a minute on something that somebody on the Hatfield side had written, and it's going to make a little bit of sense for those that's done their Hatfield DNA search. Anyway, guys, the video you just watched was probably from a year ago, and Sheila, we decided not to publish it.
Yeah.
It was on David Hatfield. He had made some comments over and over and over, comments on these Facebook pages that people send us, and we just let it go. Finally made a video to show that when I run across an old email that he had sent me back in 2014, then I realized that he didn't know nothing about the feud then. He doesn't know nothing about the feud now. He watched a mini-series, and he's all of a sudden become a so-called historian. Now, the last time we was doing a video here, the chopper, the OCC chopper was here. It's no longer here, and that's my casket one day. Going back to this Mr. Hatfield, somebody sent us a post a while ago. Today is August something, 2024, 17th?
18th, sorry.
18th.
18th.
And I don't know when this was posted, but they just sent us a thing where they were talking about Ellison Hatfield.
Okay.
And when he was killed, and somebody had mentioned that one of the boys was 15 years old, Randall Jr. And he says that's not true. He was 18, and the gentleman comes back, this Paul Cotton, comes back, and he says, sorry, David, I saw that a while back on Hatfield McCoy Museum, and Fred McCoy said he was 15 and actually wasn't involved in the killing of Ellison Hatfield. Randall McCoy Jr. was only 15 years old, and he wasn't involved. It was Wilm. They got the wrong one, and all the excitement and everybody running, they grabbed Randall Jr. Now, David Hatfield comes back and says, Paul Cotton, Fred hasn't ever done any research on his own. He probably read the same thing you did. Court records show the boys' ages and witnesses' statements. All 3 men were involved. Guys, that's what you call opening the door. Opening the door. I call it drawing first blood. You know, again, I made this video over a year ago, and I noticed in there where I was saying then, Sheila and I was going to quit this Hatfield McCoy stuff. We're going to start traveling. We're going to do this and that. We're going to quit making these Hatfield McCoy videos, but we can't. It just seems like every time we get ready to do something, somebody sends us a video or a comment like that off Facebook, and we have We have to respond to it. Someday we're not going to be here to respond, so we have to respond to it now. Now this gentleman, David Hatfield, me and him had a dealing on a Facebook page years ago, and he was Mr. Know-It-All, and totally incorrect on anything that he would say. And then when you would ask him, where's the proof? Because that's what we like. As a 40-year career police officer and a 29-year
28.
Teaching, we like evidence, proof. We don't care to be proven wrong. We've said it a million times.
Right.
We just want the truth. But when you ask him for something, he'll make a comment and speak it into history, or write it into history on a Facebook page. And you ask him for proof, and he'll say, it's out there. Do your research. Find it. He makes all these comments. If you really want to get to the bottom and tell the truth about all this stuff, you got to show proof. You can't just speak it into history. Now, he says Sheila and I, or says I, Sheila's my partner, so we're together. But
yeah.
He says Sheila and I don't know anything about any research, and we haven't done any research. Well, there's used to be 900 pages. It's down to 766 or something now. But on page 94 of this book.
A mother knows the child's age.
Yeah. On page 93, handwritten statement of Sarah McCoy. Sheila will take pictures of it and she'll show you. But there it is. She's telling the ages of everybody. Tolbert and Palmer. Randall was 15 years old. So she'll take a picture of them 3 pages and put it in the book. But do you think a person's mother, that's something a mother's not going to forget. That's Sarah McCoy. He talks about these witnesses statement. Well, there's a witness statement. That is a court document from her statement, her testimony in court under oath. And she's telling the age of her children. I think a mother would know the age of her children. So contrary to what he tries to tell people or tries to lead you off in a different direction, he's incorrect. He's incorrect about so many things, and nobody will take them on. I've noticed several. They'll argue for a second, and then I'm sorry. I don't care if you can prove Sheila and I wrong. Sheila, we know people that's helped us, that's right. Straightened us out, that's showed us things with evidence that changed our minds.
Exactly.
That's why you see the 5th edition. The 5th edition of that book right there. That's because it's improved throughout the years with records, with things that court testimony and Civil War records. And that's how you do. If you're really into history, then tell it on either side like it is, and don't be afraid to change. But again, these Facebook pages, they're authors. They wrote books. They do not want to go back and say, oh, me and him was wrong when we wrote this book. That was incorrect, or he just spoke it into history. You got to remember, he was a Hatfield, and of course we know that. Of course we know that. I'm half Hatfield, half McCoy. My great-great-grandfather was Preacher Ance Hatfield, the cousin to Devil Ance. Now, I don't want to claim no heritage to Devil Ance. Of course, I'm related to Devil Ance. And I don't know. I don't want to drag this out. Again, we done this video a year ago when I run across that email or text messaging, and Sheila never did publish it. Sheila didn't want to do it. No, I respect you, babe. Sheila tries not to stir the fire. She tries, if it doesn't have relevance to something, she says, well, but now when you put statements on there and says Fred McCoy doesn't know, as long as we've researched the feud, as long as we've looked into it. Again, I think I asked for it in the first video, but it'd be nice to find out what David Hatfield's. Guys, on these Facebook pages, when somebody knows it all like that, ask them, how are you related to Devil Ance? How are you related to this one or that one? Maybe we can get a DNA to see what Devil Ance's Y DNA is, if he's actually a Hatfield or something else. These people all want to talk a good talk of who they're related to. Nobody's doing the DNA except Fred McCoy, and mine's exactly like it should be. And that's why people's not taking DNAs. Walt Hatfield with 32 children, 5 wives, Tennis Hatfield like he was, and then people claims to be the great-grandsons of Tennis Hatfield or the grandson of Tennis. Are they? Are they? I see you back there. But that'd be nice to know if they really are. I would respect them a lot more, especially if it come back that they are Tennis Hatfield's offspring or something. This will be the last ad-on. I'm sorry, babe.
That's all right.
Guys, while I was getting a copy of the message from David Hatfield's Facebook page where we had messaged each other back in 2014, Sheila was making a copy of it, and I start scrolling down his page, and I see there's his page.
Okay.
But what I see down through here is this picture right here.
Okay.
May the 20th, 2022, comes the Soldier Whisper. Me and my buddy, T.L. Cox from Houston, Texas, pictured on the right. And then it goes on and tells the story. And I'm confused because I don't know. It says me and my buddy. I don't know if that's David, because he certainly don't look old enough. I look older than him. Maybe I've been rode hard and put up wet. Maybe he's taking care of himself. I don't know, but he don't look older than I am. And
Right.
I was the last platoon in boot camp to receive the full GI benefit bill, the college and all that from, even though I wasn't Vietnam. Vietnam was over in March. I couldn't think the other night when we was doing the video on Vietnam when it started. It started in 1954.
Okay.
54, 55.
Okay.
And it ended March the 14th of 1975. I went in November 75.
Okay.
So I know if I went in November of 75 and I wasn't in Nam or in that related to the Vietnam War, then anybody after me certainly wasn't. And he doesn't look as old as me, so I'm just wondering, and I have sent him text messages. I've sent him messages on the messenger. I've sent him on the Hatfield McCoy Feud Facebook page.
Okay.
And asked him, David, what years did you serve in Vietnam War?
Okay.
I haven't got anything back. We were waiting and waiting to get a reply from him so we would know, because there's either two things that happen. Either he actually served in the Vietnam War, or he's put that post on his Facebook page, in my opinion, to imply that he served in the Vietnam War. Me and my buddy in the Vietnam War. And I don't know how else to take it. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he can explain it.
Okay.
But this is the same person that knows all the history, and they're always commenting, always barks at everybody when they put any kind of comment. But yet, I've tried every way I know how to contact him for the last couple hours, and I'm not getting a reply back. I'm not getting anything at all.
So you're just curious about what he posted since he's not replying, or?
Of course, it makes me more curious.
Yeah.
Is it another case of stolen valor, or is it not? He very well may have served in Vietnam, and if he did, because it says there that he served 12 months, served 12 months in Vietnam with this guy.
Interesting.
And it says me and T.L. Cox. And I mean, I assume he's talking about him, me.
Okay.
And if you'll click on that picture on his Facebook page, there's hundreds. I didn't go through all of them, but there's several. I didn't count them, but I said hundreds. I would venture to say hundreds, but I don't know. I didn't count them, but there's several people on there. Thank you for your service. Thank you. My husband served in Vietnam, and they're thanking him, and nowhere does he say, "Oh, that's not me," or nowhere does he say, "Thank you for thanking me." He's not acknowledging it. Somewhat like Tim Walz did when they said the highest ranking member to ever serve in the Senate, and he just stands there. When they call him a sergeant major command, and he stands there. When they say that he served in Afghanistan on the news, and he stands there and acknowledges. You know, when you don't deny something, the assumption is that you're acknowledging it. or at least that's me implying.
Okay.
That would be me. If you say Fred had a whole head full of hair, and I don't say no, I don't, then you would assume that I'm standing right here. Why wouldn't I say no? I'm bald as a
eagle.
I think
I'm kidding, guys.
Hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know, like I said, this video goes back to the comment that he made earlier. This one video we made a year ago and she never posted it. She didn't want to post it.
Yeah.
But now after he said what he did and drew first blood or opened the door for comments, you know, he asked for it. Don't, if you want a reply, that's the way to get it from me. You know, we don't attack. We don't just go out here and attack people. We don't attack nobody anyway. But we do respond to people's comments on whether they are historians and they say the wrong history of the feud, or we have proof that shows otherwise. We'll do that. We'll call them out for that. That's the way it's going to stop. And same way with him, when he sits there and says he doesn't know anything about the feud, and we wrote books on it. We've got the evidence there that says his own mother said he was 15. Then that proves it. I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
Right.
She's going to. This video is going to be long enough, guys. If you know anything about, always ask questions. First of all, just don't take people at their word just because they tell you something. Ask for proof. And they've asked him for proof, and every time they ask him for proof, he says, "Hey, research it. It's out there. Find it. I've seen it." Well, if you've seen it, wouldn't it be nice to show the rest of us? We'd like to see it because we haven't. And me and Sheila McCoy have seen about ever. We'd be surprised. I'm sure there's something out there we probably missed doing.
Oh, Lord, I'm sure.
But we'd be surprised. But and if David, if you did serve in Vietnam, we're just curious. Thank you for your service. Yeah. And we're curious as to what year you served and when you went in, when you got out. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What was you in?
What branch? Yeah.
We get into that because there's so much of this stolen valor stuff going on. And if he's true military, he knows what I'm talking about, and he would respect that. He's not going to get mad for somebody asking about your military service. So, again, I ain't want to beat a dead horse going. It's Fred and Sheila. She's looking at me.
Hi, guys. Hope you're having a great day.
Watch her put that grin on there now.
Yeah. It's all good.
Got to call them out, babe. If somebody don't call them out, it's just going to continue when me and you quit. And Sheila and I are getting ready to quit these videos. We're retired.
Hatfield McCoy videos.
The Hatfield McCoy videos. We're getting ready to quit them because we've covered just about everything there is to cover that's of any importance.
Yeah.
And we're going to vacation, travel, as long as our bodies will take it. And other than that, I'm shut up.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.